the idea here is to just show you how we get started setting up auto trading with the strategy monitor, and I think it makes sense to start with streaming windows just because it's more visual. And I created a couple slides. You don't have to look at these two. We're not going to look at these the whole time. We're going to be looking at WealthLab, but let me just flip through these. These are
So
kind of
I'm
my
recording
yeah.
this webinar.
Okay. You're recording it? I thought isn't Volker? You set it to record, right? Can't hear Volker anymore. Okay, so let's see. I've just got a few slides that we're going to go through because there's just a few things that you have to look at when you start setting up auto trading with WealthLab, and a lot of these are just one-time setups. So I'm not sure of who's all here or the experience level, but we'll just go through these pretty quickly. We have to look. We're going to look at some of the things in the order manager that we want to start with. We got to look at our historical data, how we have that set up, because that's, data is all important for trading. There's a few pros and cons of types of.
So I'm recording the webinar. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me because I've been talking.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
Okay. Oh, I saw Nate's. I can hear you, Dion. We can hear you. Let me type. I'm going to go over to my other screen and type the Dion because he can't hear me apparently. Dion,
check.
We can hear you.
Hello, hello.
I'm able to hear everybody, and it says it's recording on my screen.
There's Philip too.
Thanks, Robert.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So historical and streaming data. We want to make sure we get that stuff set up right. Trading preferences. Yeah, like I said, most of these are one-time setup things, but you should be aware of them. And let's see what the thing I wanted to start with is. Well, actually, I do have a couple strategies running. They're just buying and selling, and you can see that these are actually Tradier accounts. These are what I've been working with lately. We've been seeing some problems with order statuses with Tradier, but I've got the order manager here at the bottom, and the first thing that you'd want to do, the thing that I do when I first start up is I bring up the order manager. Order manager you can get right from here, or you can hit Control R, and you set up your brokers. Okay, so I've got a lot of them here, but let's see. I was kind of hoping to do this all at. Maybe I should start over. Well, let's yeah. When you first start up, you might see a connected button if you haven't requested data. So if you generally, a lot of you will, you have one or two brokers, and this selection here that you have in the order manager is only for manual. It's for manual trading. This broker here controls who the order in this from these manual order. These manual orders, where that order goes, okay? But you can also, it's also useful for connecting and making sure that you're connected to the broker and configuring the broker. So if you have a broker configuration, for example, I've got a paper account with my interactive brokers attached here. So you've got your configuration here. Make sure that these are one-time setups generally. And once you have that all set up, there's a connected button that's enabled, or connect button, when you hit it, it connects, and you'll see some connect messages probably down here at the bottom to make sure that you're connected. Okay, so you want to make sure you have a good connection with your broker first. Is there anything else from the order manager? Well, the other thing about the order manager that I like to do when I trade, I like to sort these orders, because if you get a lot of orders coming in, I like to sort them by the timestamp. It might be hard to see with this dark fill or dark theme, but I like to put the timestamps, the most recent timestamp, at the top. So that way, when fresh orders come in, let's see if we, we got to wait 30 seconds for another order. The new orders will come in and you'll see them right at the top. There's also a lot of people miss this too. These auto remove buttons, auto remove switches. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and you'll see that when these are clicked, all those orders just disappeared. Okay, so now I don't have any history. I can't see anything that happened today. So I would kind of recommend, unless you're really comfortable with everything working right, that you don't need to review your orders. I would just uncheck all of that. That way you can see, the orders that have, when they were placed, when they were filled, and so on and so on. So be aware of that. The other thing maybe you might miss too are these order blocks. Okay, so every strategy is going to generate a new order block when it sends orders to the order manager. And so you can see I've got two order blocks here. I've got one for this RSI strategy that's going to Alpaca, and I have another order block for this Tradier strategy that's running up here. And you can see this gives you a little bit more information about the current auto trade positions that WealthLab is aware of. Okay, so if you see any problems, or if you're don't understand why maybe WealthLab couldn't find a position, that might be a good place to look. You can see we just sold the SPY trade. There was the auto trade for SPY right there. And the accounts is another good window to have up too. So Tradier is down here at the bottom, and you can see I've the accounts window, just like these order manager had these eye buttons that filter what you can see. Okay, so I'm filtering I can see my Tradier account, collected to, don't have anything in there. What else can I show you? My dummy broker has dummy broker positions. So you can filter what you see in these windows, just like over here. If I want to say, oh, what orders belong to which one of these order blocks? Let's get rid of this one. So I can see that these orders apply to this Tradier order block. You can get some more. There's probably some more information about it on the right side here. I don't have this. Yeah. So the source, here's the account that they go to. Of course, you can move these things around. Okay. So there's your accounts and order manager. Any questions so far? Okay. The next thing back to the one-time setups is your historical providers. Okay. Probably everybody that's here is already. Although at least I saw three pretty seasoned WealthLab users here, but WealthLab, when you're requesting data from the historical providers, unless you're requesting it from a linked data set, like these are over here on the left side, I have all these IQ and IQ feed and IB Interactive Brokers data sets. Those are linked to those providers. So if I request a symbol right from those data sets, or I request data from those data sets, they're going to go to that linked provider first. If they can't find the data for some reason, the data's not updated or whatever, it's going to start going through this list of checked providers from the top to the bottom. Okay, and so this is your preference of where you want the data to come from. Enough said about that. Okay, I don't want to go too much into details about that. There's symbol mappings. If you're, well, I will talk about that for a second. If for example, you are using IQ feed to drive a symbol in IB, and maybe it's a future symbol and it has a different symbol format, you can set up these symbol mappings so that, in your broker, there's your broker symbol mapping. These are your data. This is your symbol mapping for your historical providers, IQ feed. So for example, if a symbol with this format, this is a regex format, comes in, and like, for example, if I type in NQ M20, M24, so that becomes, well, That's not a good example. Becomes at MSC. QM24. Okay, I'm not seeing what I would have expected that to become at NQ pound. I have to come back to that. Okay. NQM24. I think that's the right regex. Maybe I have an error there with the regex. But anyway, you can see there's a lot of different brokers, a lot of different data feeds. If you have a problem with matching a symbol in your data feed to your broker, the symbol mappings are the thing to look for. Okay. And let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let's just get rid of this. I'm going to show you right from the beginning. No, let's go back to start with the streaming window here. Okay, setting up streaming windows for auto trading. We're going to start from the beginning here. So to actually remove a strategy from a streaming window, you have to actually be streaming, and you have to hit this button. This will remove the strategy that's attached to that window. Okay, so here you can see I clicked it off. You can see that there's no buy and sell. Nothing's happening in this window. It's just a streaming window. Okay, so this is where you would start. Let me unclick this button. This is the auto place button. This is the auto stage button. Does anybody have a question about auto place or auto stage? If I hear a yes, I'll explain it. If not, I'll keep going. Okay. So to set up a streaming window for auto trading, you pull up the symbol that you want to trade, and you go over to your strategies in this panel over here, and pull over the strategy that you want to trade. Actually, I was trading something else, but yeah, this one might be kind of more interesting. RSI 3070. Okay, so this one just buys when the RSI is below 30, sells when it's above 70. Okay, and I think there's a time of day filter in there, but all the back tests, WealthLab always runs a back test to create trades, right? So you can see that the back test ran the last time when I threw it into the window, or when that bar just came in, and you can see that hypothetical trades that occurred. So right now, this strategy expects that there's a long position because it bought 9 shares of SPY right here. And I'm trading in, this is the account that I'm trading in. Sorry, probably should have talked about that too. You can select, this is the broker and the account that you're trading, okay? And if I go over to my broker window, I can see that the broker doesn't have a SPY position that this strategy just bought. And I'm gonna hit the auto place button so that when we eventually do get a sell signal, which might not happen right away because we have to wait for it to bump up to 70. But what would happen is that because this strategy is expecting, well, the strategy thinks that there's a long position, it's trading this hypothetically, it's going to check when it goes to auto place this order, it's going to check this account, this is the Tradier account, for this position. Since this position is not there, you're going to see an error in the order manager later when this happens, that it couldn't match the position to sell it. Okay, so this is like an expected outcome of this scenario. Now, I didn't talk about the trading preferences, okay, but there is a trading preference to avoid that scenario, and it's this portfolio sync option to block exit orders when the position isn't found. Essentially, what would happen is that instead of even seeing an error, it would say, "Oh, you don't even care to see it. We're not even going to try to send the order, so the order will be blocked, and we'll just the strategy, the auto place would probably just ignore that order." Okay, so these are I think this was on my slide, but I forgot to go over this. These are the preferences that kind of the usually one-time setups that you would do when you're trading like. Okay, sorry. I was thinking of the broker account. If you're trading percentage of your a percentage of your broker equity, this is a feature that there's probably no reason to turn it off, really. Possibly. But if you want to trade a percentage of your actual broker equity, you would turn this on. And so whenever new signals occur in your trading window with a percentage, for example, what percent of equity size, let's make that a 5% equity size. It would take 5% of what your actual broker equity is in this account, okay? Lastly, let's see, a couple things. Another thing I'll talk about is always set, setting the exit order quantity to the full position quantity. You'll want to, possibly, as long as you're not trading the same symbol and with multiple strategies in the same account, which a lot of people tend to want to do. This allows WealthLab to synchronize to the position quantity that you have in your that is in your account that WealthLab is aware of it. That's in your accounts tool here. Okay, so for example, if I were to sell, looking at the accounts tool in the bottom right, if I were to sell NVIDIA a sell signal, and if for some reason the strategy, because the strategy set to sell a certain percentage of the account now, it's not going to sync to that size. It's going to come up with a different size because of the historical backtest. This option to always set the exit order quantity, the full position quantity, will synchronize to that NVIDIA 37 shares, okay? And you'll get that 37 shares sold, no matter what mistake you made setting up your position sizing. Okay, a lot of other options for special order types. The only other thing that really applies to, there's a couple options for the strategy monitor. If you tend to use the run now option, we haven't talked about activating strategies yet, but you might want to keep the strategy active after you've right-clicked and ran it. If you're auto trading during the day, that's typically something that you would do. And processing delay, well, these are for daily strategies. We're not going to talk about that today. Okay, so preferences. Any questions there so far? We're going to.
Yes, Robert, I have a question. When would you recommend using the streaming strategy like this versus putting it in the strategy monitor?
Okay. Yeah, it's a good question because actually, let me go back to my slide really quick. I think I had something here. Yeah. At the bottom here, we have a blog here about WealthLab intraday real-time data providers. Okay. So that's on the website. Just go to the blog page and you can find that all about WealthLab intraday providers. The thing about it is, depending on the provider that you're using, right now I'm using IQ Feed, but if I were using Interactive Brokers to generate orders for this strategy, a lot of brokers like TD Ameritrade, I'm not sure, Schwab's probably going to be about the same way. Interactive Brokers, they use conflated data. You don't get all of the ticks, and that might affect the highs and the lows and the closes of the bars that are being built with that streaming data. Okay, so that might not be the question. I might not have answered the right question, but that is a factor in both the streaming window and in the strategy monitor if you're using streaming data. Okay, let's go. Let's pull up the configuration for a strategy here. The strategy monitor has three options, right, for streaming, polling, and streaming bars. Okay. Now, polling is always going to pull for historical data. So it's a good option to use in the strategy monitor unless you're trying to trade 100 symbols at 1 minute or something like that. Then polling might take too long to get all of the information for that last bar. It would be too much delay, right? And that's what that's what the streaming data and streaming bars are useful for, because that data is there almost immediately at the end of the bar. Now, the difference between streaming bars and streaming data, remember what I was saying about the conflated data that some of the brokers provide. Streaming bars doesn't have that problem because the broker is actually pushing, well, let's just call it, brokers do it a different way, but they push bars at perhaps 1 minute intervals or 5 second intervals, but we're getting all of the historical data in that, all the trade data in those bars. Okay, so if you use if your provider has an option for streaming bars, I would use it for 5 minute, 5 minute. Yeah, we tend to recommend 5 minutes and under for streaming data, right? But it also depends on the number of symbols. For example, if I were trading 3 symbols at 5 minutes, why not just use polling? It's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. So you've got to kind of balance how many symbols you're trading, what interval you're trading with, and kind of find the optimum configuration really for your strategy. Did I get there? Did I get the answer?
So that thank you for that. But and this is in the trader, by the way. But I was asking, when would you use the streaming window approach versus strategy? The strategy monitor approach for your trading. And let's say you are doing 1 minute, 5 minute kind of intraday trading.
Okay. Yeah. Personally, if I'm only trading, 4 or 5 symbols, I like to use, I like the visual. I like to be able to see the trades in the chart. I like to, look at the indicators. So really the strategy, where the strategy monitor, earns its keep is when you're trading dozens of symbols and many strategies, right? If you're, it's a question of numbers, really. And the thing is, the streaming window doesn't give you an option for polling or streaming bars, so you only get streaming data, right? That might be a factor. If the streaming window has to build the bar, you have to be connected the whole time. For example, you're doing 30-minute bars. If you're trading 30-minute bars, I might opt for the strategy monitor just because I'm going to get that polling. I don't have to be connected. It doesn't matter if I miss a trade because the streaming connection dropped out for 10 seconds or something. So again, you're kind of back to the trade-offs. The streaming window, you get the visuals, and there might be some more information that your strategy puts up on the chart, in the header text or something like that you might want to see while you're trading. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is whether you can use polling or streaming bars or streaming data. For example, if you're trading IB and you're trading stocks, gosh, I would use the strategy monitor just because you're going to be the data that you're trading with isn't going to match that historical data that later you look at when you request it historically from IB in the future, right? So, there's going to be, I've looked at it many times. There might be 1 cent, 2 cents off the high or the low and the close. It might not make a practical difference to trading your strategy, but if you wanted to look back at what your strategy should have done, and you're looking at the historical bars that you get from IB later, yeah, then it does make a difference. And polling or streaming bars will give you that.
Just a final question. So there are two completely different UIs in a way. And if you don't have too many symbols, if you have a lot of symbols, obviously it'd be hard to have so many charts up. If you're just trading 3 or 4 symbols, right, it could be an option. But underneath the surface, Is everything identical the way the program runs in the strategy monitor and in the streaming chart?
The way the strategy works, except for, let's see, in fact, I think we have an option for it. There's the cosmetic functions that are usually ignored. Glitch, I don't know if you can hear me. Glitch would be better, but yeah, the strategy is going to run exactly the same.
I see.
Exactly the same way. Yeah, but
Okay.
there is an optimization in the strategy monitor, for example, not to, because it doesn't have to it doesn't have to display anything. So all those cosmetic functions would be ignored, basically. Yeah.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So really quickly, so we talked about the historical streaming data. We talked about the order manager, setting up the preferences, and then we dragged a strategy into the streaming chart. We set up the broker, which you might want to do before dragging the strategy in there. Your position sizing, just so you're not, everybody's got to be aware. There's these helpful, pop-up hints here for these other options. When you're back testing, these options are only for these max open. These are only back testing options. Okay, so if you're trading live, these are ignored, right? Because we're going to generate signals, and the broker is going to get the signal. So we can't go back and say, oh, let's reject that position as if it were a back test. Okay, max entry signals is a viable option now, especially for the strategy monitor. But those are for specific strategies. So let's move on. Okay, auto stage, auto trade. The auto stage, just in case there's somebody that isn't aware of it. I don't know if you've been watching, but these auto. Oh, I haven't. Oh, I didn't have this auto place button set up. I can probably demonstrate it here. Okay, we got 10 seconds. Well, I'll do an auto stage. Okay, so this is going to stage an order coming up in 5 seconds. You'll see it pop up at the top down here. There it goes. The NVIDIA buy is staged. You can see the status is staged. And so that's what auto staging does. It puts it into the order manager so that you can look at it and click on it and then place it yourself. If you can see I placed it and it filled right away. So that's auto staging. Auto place is all the same thing, except you don't have to look at the order and click and place it yourself. Okay. So that's the difference between auto place and auto stage. And that's all I want to do. Talk about the streaming strategy windows. Okay, so we'll get. Let's set up a auto. Well, let's start from the beginning here. Let's just go ahead and remove the strategy. Let's set up a strategy in the strategy monitor, and the way you do that, similar to the strategy window, you just grab your strategy, drag it, and then you're kind of forced to do a configuration at first. Okay, now you can trade a single symbol, or now remember, if you're trading a single symbol, this is kind of an ad hoc symbol. So where does the data come from? It's going to come from the first historical provider in this order, because it's not, an ad hoc symbol isn't really attached to a data set, right? So just be aware of that. If you want to trade a symbol that's attached to a data set, well, then you'd have to create a data set with one symbol in it. But if your providers are set up in the preference that you like, then that's perfectly fine to trade one symbol just this way, which a lot of people do. You might want to set up one strategy that trades QQQ at 50% of your equity, and off you go. And that's perfectly fine. We're going to set up a data set, and we'll go to an IQ temp data set that I can't see what I have in here, unfortunately. We'd have to go, we'll look at it later. Well, no, we don't have to do that. So we've selected our data set. We've selected a broker. Let's go ahead and select an interactive broker account. We're going to stream with IQ feed. So you can see all the options are there. I can stream with interactive brokers if I wanted to. But now IQ feed is a tick by tick provider, right? So if you have IQ feed, there should be no difference between streaming data and streaming bars, except that the streaming data, WealthLab has to process all of those ticks to create the bars. So streaming bars should alleviate some of that, processor churn. So like I said, I'd recommend streaming bars if it's available for the provider, for your provider. We're going to do that at 1 minute scale. Okay, data range. This is something to make sure. This is an important thing. When you're trading live, you shouldn't load like all data or 20 years of data or even a year of data, probably if you're trading intraday. Remember, WealthLab is running a back test. If you're running a back test on a year of 1 minute data, you're going to go through 200,000 bars and maybe make 1,000 trades that WealthLab is going to process. You don't need to do that when you're trading live. Okay, you want to load the least amount of data that makes your indicators valid and possibly catches any symbols that you still need to trade. So a few weeks of data should be no problem. Several thousand bars. You can maybe 1,000 bars or 2,000 bars would be plenty good for most intraday strategies. Okay, so that's your set. We got our skills set up, and that's it. That's our setup. You set up your parameters here. We've got an RSI period of 8. Actually, let's make that like 3, so we get a faster RSI moving up and down, so we get some trades out of it. Let's go look at my IQ feed. Well, no, here what we'll do. Okay, when you're trading, especially if you're trading hundreds of symbols, you want to make sure, and especially at the 1 minute scale, that you get that your seed data set up, you get your strategy activated before the market opens. Because I think I probably have about 8 symbols in here, but when I activate the strategy, look over here on the log. Okay, the log's saying that I'm populating the data. It's going to go through a couple passes. It's already done with 1 pass. There's 8 symbols. The second pass is to make sure we got the latest bar in case a bar wrapped around while we were doing that first pass. And you can see we loaded 2,000 bars to this date and 11:04, which that was the last time. So we're up to date, and the next run is scheduled for 16:05. So we're going to go ahead and hit auto place for this strategy. This one's running, but it's not. This one doesn't have auto place or stage set up. Let's go ahead and set that up too. And I'm going to go down to the order manager and just remove all the inactive orders because I'm kind of happy that everything's filling. No problem. I don't need to see any of that. So here we go. Oh, this is our other strategies running. Okay, and here's you just saw my IB pop. You can see my IB, right? My interactive brokers TWS popped up with all these orders that just popped in from the, let's see, let's get rid of, this is the RSI 70. Oh, here's the interactive brokers block right here. Yep. So let's go back to pull up the TWS. So you can see these orders, they all filled. And so that's it. Let's see. So we got if I click on the strategy, you can see the orders that were generated. There's another status window in the strategy monitor that kind of keeps track of the profit and loss for the day. So that might be interesting. If you want to look at the log, if there's something that you don't understand, the log will be helpful for us to maybe troubleshoot it. But you can see how it's running the strategy you can see how it ran the strategy. It ran it in 3 different 3 different runs. So at the first second, these 4 symbols were available. The data was, as soon as these symbols became available, it ran it on these 2, and then these 2. That's actually another good thing to mention. I am on streaming bars. Streaming bars does have a little bit more of a delay because the broker is creating that package of open, high, low, close to send to us. So there is possibly a 1 to 3 second delay that you might not get with streaming data. And like I said, IQ feed, if you're if you need that order immediately at the end of the bar and you've got IQ feed, or Tradier I think has a good option for streaming data. I think Alpaca does too, if you go for the paid service. So if you have a tick by tick streaming provider, you'll get that. In fact, let's do that. Let's do that on this strategy. Let me deactivate it. We're going to put this one on streaming data with IQ feed.
Oh, Jesus, really?
And let's activate it again.
Never mind.
Okay. Let's go ahead and clear this. So it's still downloading data because it's we don't have the next run yet. I cleared the log, so that's the log for that one. Let's see here. There we go. Here comes pass 2. Okay, there's 30 symbols here. Actually, I think the Dow. Yeah, it's on the Dow 30. Okay, so you can see how that took a little time to get that updated, because it's downloading all that 1 minute data for the Dow 30 symbols. So that's a good example. Let's see. So we're still doing pass 2. Okay, so we've got 1608. Which was the last bar. Okay, so good. So now we're on streaming data. So let's see. We're trading to Alpaca, IQ feed to Alpaca with the SMA. So it's this order block is the one we're talking about. And you can see here we had an order error. There's a red button there. If we double click on this order, you can see the port. So this was the situation that I talked about before. Portfolio sync couldn't find a position to exit. Okay, so WealthLab saves you. It doesn't try to, it says it couldn't find a position to sell. So even though it tried to sell 1,200 shares of Walmart here, 1,290 it looks like, it said the shares weren't there because the backtest thought they were there, but in real life they weren't. So you just got so the order area errored out. So it's no problem. Okay, hopefully we get, what's the market doing today? Looks like it's dropping a little bit. Okay, so we need looks like this is an SMA crossover long strategy. So I've got it set up for I think 7. Let's see if we have the parameters here. I don't know if we have the parameters. No, we'd have to go back to the configuration to look at the parameters I set up. See if we get some trades. No, we don't have any signals. Let's just look at that. Well, here you can see it right here. We're on the streaming data here, right? So it processed. It started processing local time at this is a good thing to mention too. The run times start with your local time, so you should make sure that your local clock on your computer is synchronized, right? But you can see that at 02, we don't have milliseconds here, but 2 seconds after the strategy ran, all 30 symbols were ready to run, and it ran it on all 30 symbols. Okay, so in 2 seconds the strategy was done on 30 symbols. Okay, so that that's let's go look over at the RSI that's running on. Here we go. You can see this ran it again. See, the one that's on streaming bars does have a little delay. These are coming in 1, 3, 4 seconds, 5 seconds after the bar. I mean, generally, I wouldn't expect to see something after 5 seconds, but 5 seconds is actually kind of long even for streaming bars, but that might, answer your question, going back of which, well, we were talking about windows between strategy window, strategy monitor, and streaming windows. And so, but IQ feed streaming is quite good. Tick by tick, you're going to get the update the fastest possible, at the fastest possible time using IQ feed streaming. So, let's see, we're not getting any trades, unfortunately. With this one, we could, yeah, let's go back. Let's go look at this other strategy. Let's turn this one off. Yep. So you can see we got another error on Airbnb on this one. We went to sell that at IB and on our, let's go look at our IB accounts. Oh, it's there. Okay, so yeah. So you can see the IB accounts on top. I can turn off Tradio there. So these are the positions that are available to sell at IB. And I tried to sell Airbnb and it wasn't there. So yeah, I did have some positions in this account when I started, but you can see that we shouldn't have traded Airbnb earlier. No, yeah. So that's perfectly fine. Let's see. Let's look at our status. We've made $57 today on that strategy. Let's see. This one we haven't really gotten any trades yet. Oh, we just bought something. Let's go back over here. Let's look. Turn off this one. Am I sorting this correctly? I usually, like I said, I like to sort timestamp. Oh, okay. Oh, we got an error. This is on this strategy too. Okay, how come that sort didn't? Yeah, that was kind of odd. That sort didn't work. Okay, so we just bought Goldman on this strategy. One signal. So you can see there's a lot going on here. We've got we've got strategies placing orders every other bar there, which you can see on this order block. We've got this one's trading the Dow 30, and this one's trading the other 8 symbols on this RSI, fast RSI strategy. And I did all that while I was talking. Any questions? Did we go over time, or how are we doing? We still got 15 minutes left. Is there anything anybody else wanted to see or have any questions about how they trade? Because that's about all I've got on this one. I mean, we could talk about trading from the quotes tool if you wanted to. I see something in the chat. Let's pull that up. I see a yes. That was from before. Let's go.
Hey, Robert, this is Nate. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Hi, Nate.
How you doing? So I got a question in regards to running strategy monitor on, like, if you're on a laptop and a desktop. So if you take your laptop because you're going on vacation and you have some stuff running on your desktop and you can mirror that, is there any issues running strategy monitor and syncing between the two computers?
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean about syncing between the two computers, though. I mean, if you were running it with your laptop, I mean, are they running the same strategy? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Like essentially, you're just taking your stuff on the road, but on another system. Do they transfer? Like, you're able to see that? I mean, obviously the brokers have a record of that, but what about WealthLab?
Yeah, well, WealthLab doesn't really have a memory, right? So, yeah, as far as positions are going,
Yep.
Because we're, if we're trading, these are, the streaming strategy window and the strategy monitor are live trading tools, right? So we're doing the back test hypothetically, But
Yep.
when we're talking about signals and actually trading the positions, those are coming
Yeah.
from, what's in the broker, so the, the one thing that might be an issue, and well, it isn't with IB anyway, is, you can't really connect
Okay.
two
So
computers to the same account, for example.
it would be better to run it, say, on your desktop and remotely log into your desktop running WealthLab than to try to just run it on your laptop and pick it up where you left off.
I
Kind of what I'm hearing.
I would do it that way. Yeah, I would. I mean, well, I would do it that way just because I have an underpowered old MacBook Pro that doesn't keep up very well. But yeah, that's a better option to remote login, remote desktop into your trading machine.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean either way is viable though. I mean, it's if there really shouldn't be a problem. You just sync you pull your strategy over, pull your workspace over, and just start it up on your desk on your laptop. It should work without. I can't think of any. Let me think. Is there any reason? If your data, if your data's there, it's just about setting up all those one-time preferences and things like that. That might be, something to watch out for too.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really see a problem with it though. But yeah, I would remote in if that's an option. Yeah.
And my other question was in regards to the order manager, as far as checking the boxes, as far as like auto remove, completed, strategy canceled. I don't know if this is a bug or if it's supposed to be that way, but I noticed when MedBed places orders, like with Fidelity, it just says placed and then it doesn't say filled or auto removes. So I
Okay,
don't know.
so that's a bug. I mean, it's a bug somewhere, right? We're not getting an order status, or I guess in that case, like I said, you and I have talked before, so I don't know much about MedBed. Dion is listening, so
Yeah, can you hear me, Robert?
yep, now I can.
Yeah, I mean, I have never seen that. Every day I place orders using the MedVet extension, and I mean, they all, I mean, I do it after the market closed. I think, are you placing them pre-market maybe?
No, during market hours, it'll say place, and it fills with the broker. I can see it on Interactive Brokers and Fidelity, but it doesn't auto remove in the order manager window.
Yeah, so it remains placed for you.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, no, I have never seen that. I mean, you're sure you're up to date on the latest build of the
Oh yeah.
extension, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Robert, make sure I am. So,
Okay, well, I mean, you could always, I mean, we can contact Jerry over there and he can maybe look at the logs and see what's happening. I mean,
yeah.
personally, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Everything has been running really smoothly for my orders.
Okay.
Yeah, place is the status that we put up immediately when we send the order, and then we're waiting for statuses from the broker provider, right? So that's when you would see like pending and then filled. But since you're not getting a canceled or a filled order, those aren't going to be auto removed. Now you can get rid of those orders just if you right click on them and hit this kill. There'd be a kill option here.
Yeah,
Kills,
I did that, which kind of brings me. I got a few questions for you, Robert. So the next one is when you're showing that live chart, and then the what is it, like the eyeball that shows the either the buy or the sell. Like you can see it, and then you can drag the line, and then it'll change. It'll cancel and then replace on the order manager.
Oh, okay. This one for the view live orders. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I tried, and I'm just bringing up my problems here, but on the med bed, I tried that where I had it an order, and then I went to move it, and it didn't cancel the other order; it just placed another like buy order.
Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. So I'm just going to put a limit order at 546.80. And we'll buy, this is the buy at limit, right? Wait a minute, I haven't used these in a while, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's buy, sell, cover, and buy, sell, short, and cover, right? So we're buying at limit at 5, so I hit that, and we got the buy at limit line, and it's active, okay? So then you're saying if we drag it?
I really enjoyed this feature, by the way. And then, yeah, if you drag that to another place on the chart, it should cancel the existing order and then place it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so it did that here, right? It canceled, and oh, did I get a fill? I got a fill. 546. I don't know how I got filled, but I got filled on, who am I trading with? I'm trading with Tradio. So they filled me for some reason, but that was the same. That was the same order. Maybe I should do this on a different
It could
chart.
be a delayed, some kind of delayed situation.
Okay, yeah, but okay, yeah. Let's do this on let's do this on another chart. Okay, so let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's buy TTD at limit 98.40 or so. Okay, let's buy it. Okay, so there's the order, buy 50. Yep, 50 divided by about 100 is about, or 5,000 is about 50 shares. Okay, so we're going to move it down. It canceled when active. Okay, but that's what you would expect, right? But you're not seeing that.
Yeah, which, I don't know. I mean, it's.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so wait. So the order line went away.
Yeah, so now you got to hit the eyeball again, undo it, and then redo it, and then it'll redo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Like I said, I don't use that a whole lot, so I didn't know that. Yeah, Deanne, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. The order line disappeared there.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We'll
Make
a note of that.
Another. I mean, I really like this feature, and then for other people on the call, could you show like bracketing an OCO order with the order lines in a live stream?
Oh, with the order lines, I'm not sure that there's a way to do it with the order lines. That's not a feature. I mean, you could do it. I mean, the only way that you would be able to do that manually, I think, and Dion, stop me if you think I'm wrong.
What is it? Where you stage them and then place them both, and then wouldn't it show your stop loss and then profit target?
Right. So let's see. We've got what account? Let's okay. We're on our dummy account. Let's look at Airbnb. Here, let's cancel this order. Airbnb, and okay, so we've got 1443. It doesn't really matter how many shares. So Airbnb, and we're gonna sell. I would just say 100 limit. Oops, darn it. Limits. Okay, let's see, 149.60. And stage that, and then we're gonna sell it at a stop at. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Oh yeah, no, that's right. 149.60 and 149.20. Stage that. So yeah, so the only way I know how to bracket, I mean, doing a manual bracket. I mean, if the strategy sends stop and limit orders with auto trading, you get the OCO. But if I do it manually, I'd have to stage them and then place them at the same time. And you can see there's the OCO symbol right there at the end there, or on the left of that cell. You can see that. You can see that, right? Yeah, part of an OCO order. So let's see if we get. Let's go ahead and see if it works. It should work. We're pretty close to getting stopped out here. It looks like. Could bump it up a little bit. I mean, we're right under the. Of course. Okay. Well, I don't want to move it just because the way IB works, maybe, yeah, I mean, if you do this in IB, it'll do the same thing. If you move the order, it's going to cancel the OCO, so you'd have to start over again. Yeah, I think we're going to get hit. It looks like we're going to get hit.
I'll sell a couple 100,000 shares to try and push it down, Robert.
All right. Oh, you worked. There it goes. There's the, we got the
You're
fill
welcome.
and the cancel. Yep. Thank you for pushing Airbnb down, Dion. Okay, so you got the, we got another here. Well, let's see. These are, you can see these are manual orders, so I could turn off all these other things. These are the buys that I did before and canceled. But here's the fill on that stop, and it canceled the limit right away. So we just bought PPD on something. So yeah. Yep. Anything else, Nate?
Yeah, no, thanks for showing that, because that's when you get up to get a cup of coffee, sometimes you need to just throw that bracket in there and not worry about it.
Yep.
Is there a trend line? I'm just asking a question. Is there like a trend line break or something? Just like you put those lines on there for the profit target stop loss that you can throw in there on the stream chart?
Oh,
Is
the
there-
tradable trend line.
Yeah, the tradable trend line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could do it like that too. You, let's see. So you can draw. Yeah, you could grab a line, and you could say sell when it crosses below. So we could say sell, or let's see. We don't have a position there anymore. Oh wait, yeah, we do. Oh yeah, because I only sold 100 shares. So we could say sell. You know, whatever quantity, another 100 or 1,000. I got 1,000. Yep. So you could do it that way, although it's not going to be, it's not going to be OCO, right? Because I could put another one up here and sell when it crosses above. By the way, the difference between closes, yeah, I mean, there's crosses and closes, right? So closes, it'll wait for the close of the bar to cross above it. The crosses above is a touch, right? So if it touches that price, it sends a market order, right? So yeah, these are, by the way, these are market orders, right? So you get that is a difference too. So if we get a close above, we're selling that closes above, we'll get a market order when it closes above that price. So that, you know, that might be a good reason to say, you know, to use closes unless you really want to get out quickly. Crosses would sell a market order, you know, sell in a descending market, right? So.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's just interacting with that live chart, you know, just the buy and the sells.
Yep. And
Really
of course,
cool
there's
feature.
the tradable trend lines. Yep. And yeah, so anybody else that's not familiar with this, if you're, you know, if you draw one of these lines, you can actually, they come up deactivated, right? So you have to activate them, right? And once they're activated, when the order hits, let's go ahead and get one of these to hit. You'll see, let's see, and oops, it just did fill. So I must have been, yeah, I actually got it right when it was closing, and I moved it back up there. So it filled, and you can see that the line was activated, it filled, and it deactivated by itself. So they're one trade lines, right? So they're not going to trade again. But you have to be careful. I think these, I'd have to check. I haven't done this in a while. If you close WealthLab and you bring this back, bring your workspace back up, and you have that line in that chart, you have to make sure that that's, you know, I'm not sure if glitch. I can't remember. This was we put this in about a year ago, and they, you know, you found the only bug. Nobody reported any bugs on these tradable lines. That was the first bug. Oh, there you go. This is, you can see another partially filled line that so that a strategy is traded Airbnb, and you saw the trade line come up. So that was cool. All right. Well, that's it for today.